Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day. Welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. In your news today, the Environmental Assessment Board on Thursday heard from the appeals from citizens who believe the 300 megawatt combined cycle gas turbine power plant that forms part of the $2 billion gas to energy project must be subjected to a thorough environmental impact assessment. The EPA, in a notice published on January 6th, announced that the project will not require the study, citing several reasons. 2 objections were received by the Environmental Assessment Board to appeal this decision. The board, though its credibility and independence was constantly under question from the appellants, on Thursday listened to the concerns of the citizens at a public hearing at Carroll Lodge in Georgetown. The process did not allow for Guyanese in the diaspora and far-flung locations in the country to participate, as there were no provisions made for the sessions to be streamed virtually as well, despite requests were made. The appellants had all asked the chairman, Dr. Mahendra Sharma, to resign from the post since he is a director at the Guyana Power and Light Inc., the very agency that will be fed power from the new gas plant. Dr. Sharma is also the head of the Guyana Energy Agency and the president of Ms. Nadir Sharma, director of the Guyana Power and Gas Corporation, that has applied for an environmental permit. Ignoring these concerns, the chairman maintained his appointed role. And Guyana's debt to the Inter-American Development Bank is pegged close to $1 billion currently. The aforementioned sum does not include the interest the country will be paying on the loans. The perusal of the bank's annual report 2022 financial statements has revealed that as of December 31st, 2022, Guyana owed the bank $787 million. Adding the $205 million in loans Guyana recently signed off on with the IDB, brings the total loans borrowed from the bank to $992 million. Guyana's Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh, during his 2023 budget speech, had disclosed that the country's total public debt stood at $3.6 billion, an increase by 16.9% from last year. And in other news, a teacher attached to the Houston Secondary School on Thursday brandished a cutlass to defend herself after she was attacked by a female parent and a student. The teacher, Kimon Gentle, is the 3rd teacher to be attacked in the last 2 weeks and the 5th this year. Gentle, however, fought back and went to the extreme in defending herself with a cutlass. It landed her in police custody, but she was released after lawyer Darren Wade negotiated with police. Ms. Gentle's clash with the parent and student was caught in a cell phone recorded video and showed a scuffle among the 3. The male student had to be restrained by a security officer, while Gentle and the parent had to be pulled apart from each other. Gentle's colleagues tried to calm her down as the parent and student were taken away from the school. The teacher, however, armed herself with a cutlass and pursued her attacker. Gentle told the media that she did not want to get into the details of what transpired because she was advised by her lawyer not to do so. She did say, however, that a violent attack on teachers has become the new COVID. And moving on, Kitty businessman 45-year-old Devanand Singh, who was found guilty of physically assaulting his daughter and threatening to shoot her last year, was on Thursday sentenced to a total of 18 months imprisonment for both crimes. Singh was sentenced by Magistrate Rondell Weaver at the Georgetown Magistrates Courts. The businessman was charged for causing grievous bodily harm to his daughter and using threatening language towards her at the same time. The incident took place on March 25, 2022, reportedly inside of the businessman's store. He was captured on camera cuffing, slapping and stomping his daughter to the ground in the presence of his employees. It was the girl's brother who had intervened to save her from their angry father. And just before we head to a break, let's tell you one of Zimbabwe's most influential diplomats, Hubert Angel, offered to use his status to launder millions of dollars through a gold smuggling scheme during an undercover operation by Al Jazeera's investigative unit. Angel, appointed ambassador at large and a presidential envoy by Zimbabwe's President Emerson Mnangagwa, in March 2021, told reporters he would be able to carry large volumes of dirty cash into the country using his diplomatic status. The 44-year-old, who claims to be a prophet and heads a congregation, the Good News Church, with branches in 15 countries, said he would facilitate a scheme through which unaccounted cash could be exchanged for Zimbabwe's gold. Recipients of the gold could then sell the precious metal for legitimate money, effectively turning their cash clean. Angel and his business partner, Ricky Dulan, also claimed that their laundering operations had the approval of Mnangagwa, who has been in power since November of 2017, when Zimbabwe's controversial former leader, Robert Mugabe, was ousted in a military coup. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your news at noon. We'll return shortly after the break.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Etteringban, we got you covered. Digicel, better together.
Welcome back. The grandson of the murdered Charlestown woman, 88-year-old Patricia Bovell, has allegedly confessed to dumping her body in the empty lot opposite her house after accidentally hitting her. Bovell's grandson, 27-year-old Yannick Gilpin, is in police custody for her death, and he told police that he might have accidentally killed her around 4 hours on Sunday. He told police that he was in the bottom flat of his grandmother's two-story home when he heard a tumbling sound coming from upstairs. Gilpin allegedly went upstairs to see what had happened and heard his grandmother shouting for murder. He claimed that he entered and found his grandmother naked and sitting on the floor with her dentures beside her. Gilpin alleged that he made some checks but saw no one inside his grandmother's apartment, and as he was about to leave, his left foot hit the woman's head while he walked past her. Bovell, according to Gilpin, fell on a rug and hit her head again. She became motionless and failed to respond. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. In recent times, the PPPC government has instituted several measures to ensure it cements control over a number of key management boards, while at the same time skillfully avoiding the involvement of other stakeholders in critical decision-making processes, economist Raymond Gaskin has said. Gaskin explained the country is now being governed in a one-man show manner. Gaskin argued that the administration is unwilling to listen to the counsel of other stakeholders, as is evident in the reduced sittings of the National Assembly. The activist said it is difficult to recall when the last sitting of the National Assembly took place. This, he said, confirms the institutions in the country are not functioning as it should, as was referenced recently by a Jamaican economist, Dr. Damian King. Gaskin went further to point out that the respective subcommittees of Parliament have been failing to meet frequently. Notably, the Public Accounts Committee, that is tasked with reviewing national expenditure, has been unable to convene regularly due to the lack of quorum, resulting from absent government representatives. And at this time, we turn the pages of today's Kaieteur News to page 7, dedicated to being blunt. American Ambassador Lynch and sanctity of contract. Ambassador Lynch praises contract sanctity. Ambassador Lynch, what about Guyanese who are hungry? Ambassador Lynch, hungry Guyanese are angry Guyanese. Ambassador Lynch, don't let matters deteriorate, please. Please, not to. Yankees, go home. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Welcome to the station where the music blasts through. Because